Story 1. A bit of context beforehand. My sister has an adopted son, Jason. He is one of the nicest kids I have ever met, and I am proud to call myself his uncle. While my sister and I are of mixed race, our dad is white. My nephew has dark skin and looks nothing like us, which is sadly important for later. Now is the time to mention my car, a 2020 Mazda MX-5 Miata. I managed to buy it brand new thanks to being financially well off at the time. This story takes place last summer. Jason was around 13 years old and was 12 when this happened. My sister came to visit and brought Jason with her. At the time of the story, Jason was outside on the porch, talking to his friends, and asked if it was okay if he checked out my car. I had no objections since I knew he would be responsible, and I could trust him around it. Now, I was not here for this part as I was inside, but my nephew tells me that while he was checking it out, this kid came around and started gawking at the car. He approached Jason and asked him about the car. Jason did not know anything about cars, so he said he did not really know anything about it and told him to come back later when I was outside and maybe I could tell him about it. The kid said okay and ran off. This is where I come in. I heard what sounded like frantic pounding on my door. I opened it, and there stood Karen and her little kid. Karen: "Sir, is that your car in the driveway?" Me: "Yes." Karen: "Well." Points at Jason: "I caught this one trying to steal it." I finally realized what was going on. Me: "Oh no, ma'am, I think you misunderstand. That's my nephew. He was just checking my car out." Karen: "He's your nephew?" Me: "Yep." This is when my sister came around, thanks to all the commotion. Sister: "What's going on here?" Karen: "Well, your husband just to..." Sister: "Whoa, lady, that is my little brother, not my husband." She looked over her shoulder and saw Jason looking at the ground. "Did my son do something to upset you?" I could practically see Karen's eyes bulge out of her head. Karen: "He's your son. That's impossible. You two look nothing alike." Sister: "He's adopted." Note that my sister is not ashamed to admit my nephew is adopted, and Jason is well aware he is but does not care. Karen: "Well, this one must have come from a family of troublemakers. I swear they all have something wrong with them. He's setting a bad example for my son." Note: the kid had no clue what was happening. This is when my sister got angry. "What do you mean by them?" Karen: "I mean he's a troublemaker. Not my fault they gave you this. Mistake of a child." Both my sister and I were mad at her for this and began to berate her about how just because he's darker than us doesn't mean he's not family, and how she's a prime example of why people of color still have to watch their backs since apparently we can't do certain things because of how we look. Karen began to get scared, threatening to call the police since we were all nothing but a bunch of troublemakers. But I recommended not to since I have a Ring doorbell and assured her the police would love to see the footage. She kept on talking about how the police wouldn't do anything because she's white. I ended up calling the cops, and luckily a patrol car was nearby. In a span of 10 minutes, Karen was removed from our property and had the offense of a hate crime to answer to. Story 2. Hello, Internet grandchildren. I was an auto body shop teacher in 1979 at a private school in California. First, I loved my job and working with 9th to 12th graders. Teaching them automotive repair was truly a highlight in my life after I retired from Ford. Now, I had about 90 kids spread out over 6 periods that year, with 11 being girls. Norman was in my 5th period with 2 girls. Norman was in the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which basically meant that women, for the most part, are considered property. He was 14 and acted like he walked on water and thought that people should just fall at his feet. Their family was quite known in the community as Norman's father moved here a couple of years back with his 4 wives and 18 children. Girl 1 was 15 and was quite mature for her age. When I was demonstrating how to rebuild a carburetor, Girl 1 was trying to learn, but Norman kept talking to her and she kept loudly shushing him. Eventually, he gave up, threw something in the trash, and sat next to Girl 2, who also rejected him. 2 weeks later, Girl 1 asked to be moved because Norman was harassing her. I listened and moved her across the room and tried not to pair her with Norman. I also reported this to the dean just in case. On a Friday, I was demonstrating how to remove and install a radiator in a car. After I left to help the upperclassmen, Girl 1 was under the car. Apparently, the tool spotter went to the bathroom and Norman was next in line, so he assisted. He gave her a socket wrench for the skid plate and touched her. He stated, "Your feet smell like cocoa butter." She screamed, "Help, Mr. X." I ran over there, and Girl 1 was beating up Norman, and he had a bloody nose. She told me what happened, so I asked the seniors to assist the freshmen and sophomores while I walked them both down to the office. Girl 1 told the dean what happened and called in my students over the next 2 days to confirm the story. Everything was verified, and Norman got expelled. After he was gone, his mom barged into class and said to Girl 1, "Mrs. Bates, why did you do this to my son? My son loves you. You don't have to be afraid of my son. He has a gentle touch." She then recited the Book of Mormon about man and marriage, word of law or something. I pressed the security button on my desk. Mrs. Bates tried to stop me, but the older students held her down. Security called the cops, and she was taken away. Norman ended up stalking Girl 1 for a whole year. It only stopped after a restraining order was granted, and he served jail time for breaking it. During the 30-year reunion, I found out that Mr. Bates divorced Mrs. Bates. Norman tried to get a mail-order bride from Thailand and was scammed out of $250,000. Norman was last heard from in Missouri, living in a trailer as a farmhand. Story 3. I am a 26-year-old woman with 6 years of experience in the Customer Support Service Department, also known as a call center. Over the years, I have changed a few firms due to personal reasons. I have nerves of steel and can listen to a person yelling at me without blinking. During the years, I have met a lot of crazies, and here are a few stories about them. Back then, I was 25 and worked for a well-known clothing line in the call center for their online shop. My office was the sister office of the brand, so not your average call center. I only had supervisors and senior agents. My manager would be the owner of the brand himself. This is important for later. We were located in my home country. The brand is from Italy, so a neighboring country. I worked for the German language branch. We were instructed to say that we are in Italy, as many Germans refuse to speak with anybody who is not from Germany. Not everyone is like that, but most sadly are, and I apologize if I have offended anyone. Telling them that we are in Italy saved us 70% of the time. A necessary white lie, as there are call centers all around Europe that employ only the best. Yet that does not matter if we are not born and raised in the country of the language we are working in. One day, this Karen called and asked why the confirmation of the purchase came from an unknown email address and not the regular one. The explanation we got from the bank was that the online bank changed the email address. For all other info, she needed to contact their customer service. This usually shuts people up, but not her. Karen: "What? Why did they change it?" Me: "I don't know, ma'am. I don't." Karen: "Is this a scam? I want my money back, or I am going to call the police." Me: "Ma'am, for that, you will have to call the customer service of the bank." Karen: "I have." Me, stupidly: "What have they said?" Karen: "Are you stupid? Change the email address and give me my money back." Now I realized what was happening and tried to explain to her that I was not the bank. Me: "Ma'am, you have called the clothing brand online shop." Karen: "Yeah, so." Me: "You need to contact the bank. I am not the bank. I work for clothing brand, not the bank. Please contact them." Karen, being a Karen, did not take the explanation well and understood it as, "You are not working for the bank? Scam, thief. I will call the police, the news, my lawyer. How dare you do this to me? I am a long-time Golden member." Now our membership cards and levels have special names, so gold does not mean anything to us, nor does the bank have a membership card. Karen: "You probably are not even in Germany. How dare you bulk and trash do this to me?" Me: "I am in Italy, where this brand is from. Now, please calm down and call the online bank. We can not help you." Karen: "No, you scamming little witch. Give me your manager." I almost started laughing. Me: "Of course, I will transfer you right now." And with that, I hung up. My supervisor asked me what happened and gave me a pat on the shoulder after hearing my crazy tale, saying that I should have hung up sooner. She then took the information about that Karen and put her on the banned callers list, as we do not let people talk like that to us. Story 4. I am a travel agent and have a nice little office where my clients come to meet us or book travel. One of my clients, whom we will call Kay, has had issues with everything we have done for her. She booked a trip that was canceled due to COVID-19 lockdowns in April 2020. Most places were closed, and she was not flexible about destinations, so we could not do much and finally offered to refund her the full amount, therefore making no money despite putting in hours of effort. Kay has decided that she wants us to give her a free trip because it is our fault she could not go on her original trip again. COVID-19, lockdowns, government regulations. So every week she makes one visit to our office to harass us into getting something for free. It never works, but she has been doing this since we issued her a refund. Last week, I was talking to a couple of new potential clients in my office, and Kay came in. Our waiting area is centrally located, and all our cabins are around the waiting area. She saw me busy and started knocking on my door constantly. I had no option but to excuse myself and open the door to tell her to please take a seat as I was with other clients. She would not have it and demanded I speak to her about the trip that I canceled and ruined for her. Now this obviously concerned my new clients, and I could see them ready to get up. I decided that I had had enough of her. I looked at my new clients. Would it be okay if Kay stepped in and I gave her a couple of minutes? You all are comfortable, so no need to move. She can use the other chair there. The new client shrugged because, let's be honest, it was a weird situation. Me. Kay, please confirm you were supposed to go to random international destinations in March 2020. Kay, yes. Me. The airline canceled your flight due to COVID-19 and did not offer a refund. Am I right? Kay, yes, but... Me. I am sorry, ma'am. Please let me finish this verification as I need to make sure I have all the information. I will certainly hear what you have to say. Kay. Me. Did we offer to rebook you on flights to A, B, C, D, and E? Kay. Yes. Me. Did you decline those destinations with no explanation? Kay. Yes. Me. Did you reply to any of our emails asking you to let us know what you were looking for on this trip so we could plan the trip for you? Kay. Oh, I am sorry. I need to head out. I forgot I have a meeting. Me. Ma'am, please give me a couple more minutes. I do not want to waste your trip to our office. Kay. Okay? Me. When you did not reply to our emails, we issued you a full refund and absorbed the cancellation fees and deposits of your non-refundable reservations. Kay. Yes. Me. Ma'am, please tell me what you would like us to do. As you know, we did not cause the cancellation. The cancellations were beyond our control, and we even gave you a refund, losing money ourselves. How can I help you? Kay? No, nothing. I am sorry. Have a great day. Once she left, I apologized to my new clients that they had to see this. They were super understanding, but my favorite part happened after that. One of the couple said, "Isn't that Kay? She goes to our church. She's very active." I immediately said, "Yes. You all go to the same church? What a small world." Clients ended up making a huge reservation, and I was a happy camper. 3 days later, a friend called and asked what happened with Kay in my office, and I walked her through the entire episode. She laughed and asked, "So did you make her go through this because you knew they both go to my church?" Me. Why, yes, of course. You referred to them both and told me they are from your church. She has been harassing me for months, and my employees detest her. She had told us how active she is in church and how much she deserves a vacation. So I knew others in your church would know her, but she did not seem to recognize them. Later, I found out from my new clients that she loved to berate people to get what she wanted. It turns out she was expecting more money from us for her lost time and efforts. In return, her church now knows how she harassed us, and we have gotten a lot of free marketing from this story.